Good morning from a blustery Windsor, or strictly speaking Windsor and Eton, more of which in a moment or two. I'm here with Karen Duckworth. This is the third of our short recordings for Policing TV. Karen, tell us first of all where exactly we're stood and what is to your left and to your right.
Ah, right.
And then as an aircraft from Heathrow flies above us.
This is always the way. So to my left is Windsor Castle.
Hidden from us.
Hidden slightly behind the tree. To my right is Eton High Street, which at the other end of Eton High Street, which is quite short, is Eton College, the famous Eton College. And then behind us, we're on across the River Thames at the moment, on Eton Bridge.
Just on a pedestrian walkway here that we'll head across in a moment or two, just briefly into Eton. The question I've got for you for this third part of our recording here, Karen, is based on your experience, what advice might you offer to those thinking of joining policing, or indeed those newly joined, about how they might get the most out of their policing career?
Yeah, thank you for that. That's a really interesting question, and I think it's easier to, when you look back at your career, you can see perhaps the things that went well and didn't. I think I would absolutely say, first of all, don't listen to the naysayers. Don't even give them the time of day, because right from the word go, there's always somebody that's going to tell you, oh, the job's rubbish, it's never, you know, everything's wrong. Don't listen to it. The job is what you make it, and it's as good as you want it to be. The second thing is, be yourself, stand up for yourself. If you have a voice, make it be heard, and that's difficult sometimes if you are the only person. You know, if you're a woman, you're in a room, or you know, a woman of colour in a room, and you're the only one there. Sometimes it feels difficult to be heard, but be heard. Don't be diminished. Really stand up for yourself. Have a plan. Really important. You know, things don't fall in your lap generally in policing unless you're extremely lucky. But have a plan. Think where you want to be, and think, what steps do I need to take to get there, and who can I reach out to that will help me achieve what I want to achieve. And I think if you have a plan, you're halfway there. A lot of people think, well, I don't really know, I'll just see what happens, and you end up just doing the same thing for years on end, which might be fine. But if you want to be something specific, you need to think how you're going to get there. And the other thing is, I think, which is really important, is, and I've heard temporary Deputy Assistant Commissioner Alison Hadari refer to this 2 or 3 times when I've heard her speak, is get your A team together. Get the people around you who are going to be your supporters, and that might be just professionally, or that might more likely be really good friends, people that will be able to be a reliable sounding board for the ups and the downs, give you good advice. And I think that is really important, because if you're going to have a 30-year career, you are absolutely going to experience some ups and some downs, and it's good to have a consistent sounding board of people that have basically got your back and are going to give you good advice irrespective of what the situation is. And I would say, from a personal point of view, I've made loads of friends through my career, which they're very dear to me, and that's great. But I certainly had 2 women who I would say would be my A team, and we used to refer to ourselves as the Mrs. Ladies, so they know who they are if they see this. But they, throughout the ups and downs, we would be able to have those conversations that are difficult to have with other peers, and help you come to the sort of conclusions that you need to in order to be able to move forward. So I think that would be my advice. And I suppose the final thing is really enjoy it. I mean, it really is one of the best careers in the world, even though there's a lot of, you know, sort of outside view, isn't there, on policing, which can sometimes get in the way. At its root, it is one of the best careers in the world.
That's a great place on which to bring this third in the series of 3 conversations to a close. here, Karen. We're stood right outside the Eton Mess restaurant here in Eton. For those that take up your tips there, I'm sure that their career will be absolutely not a mess. It'll be quite the opposite. But on that note, if we don't go and find an Eton Mess to go and partake, it might be a little bit cold for an ice cream, which is of my I do particularly enjoy. But
I know you're partial.
I am
think
partial.
We might struggle today.
Let's not do that today. It's too cold. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for the opportunity. I'm very grateful.